Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome again to my YouTube channel, Eric Broadus YouTube. Again, I say welcome to my YouTube channel, Eric Broadus YouTube. And I just basically want to do a quick video, just my thoughts on what's going on with the U.S. dollar. And this is actually in response to to Kevin O'Leary. And he was on he was, I guess, being interviewed on Stansberry Research with Danielle Camboni. And I like Stansberry Research, and I got nothing against Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Shark Tank or Mr. Wonderful. But in that particular episode, which it aired earlier today, he's talking about, get over it. There's no de-dollarization, and so he's basically trying to talk to the common folk, or the common person in America, and or those of us that are non-elite, and trying to tell us not to worry, about it, or basically that it's a bunch of nonsense, that nobody's de-dollarizing anything, but I have my own opinion and thoughts on that based on what I'm seeing, and I beg to differ. Does it take a rocket scientist to figure it out? With what the BRICS nations are doing, with the OPEC oil embargo against the United States, and then China is joined an embargo, to ban, all oil imports, to the United States. Then you have several different countries in Africa where they won't be taking the dollar, and they're going to move into purchasing goods and doing trades in their own currency, and they're set to, I think it's in mostly a lot of it is East Africa is pretty much getting well established, with the rest of Africa moving with it. Now, there's some Western nations in Africa that also are a part of this, where they're set to establish a set currency that they can do trade and purchase goods and stuff like that in by no later than 2027. They're just trying to make sure that all the kinks are ironed out. But some countries now are either shifting into the Chinese yuan, or either they're going either with the what is it? I forgot the German currency. I don't know if it's is it francs or Deutschmark. I gotta double check that. But they're making these moves fast, and I said this, and others, definitely who are more astute in finances and economics and stuff like that. They've already said it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm piggybacking. As these moves are happening rapidly, but my point is this. It's like, okay, Kevin O'Leary say there's no de-dollarization going on. Basically, middle class or common folks, and below, suffer and basically deal with this hyperinflation. Basically, I don't care what you guys go through, I'm straight. And that's basically, if you want to boil it down, in a nutshell. He's talking to us like he's some Italian mobster from Goodfellas or The Sopranos. But my thing is, do you think that he's telling his kids, that there's no de-dollarization going on, or that he doesn't have his kids and his family prepared, for these upcoming moves? The obvious answer is going to be no. A lot of these elite, and rich would make sense. They're invested in several different markets, several different currencies. Obviously, they have precious metals, and also they do have cryptocurrency, regardless of what they say about it. And this is the same Kevin O'Leary that was paid and did endorse FTX, under Mr. Scam Bankman-Friedman, or Sam Bankman-Friedman, So you saw what happened with FTX. And Kevin O'Leary, saying all of a sudden, out of the blue, getting paid to endorses it, and then you have all these people follow behind it. And so my thing is this. It's like, to Mr. O'Leary and to the rich elite and those that you have a vested interest in keeping this dollarization Ponzi scheme going, at least for a change, you have more money than you can spend. For a change, have some integrity. You know, um, you have a platform and you have influence. Be decent enough to tell American people and those that follow you and follow your advice. Tell them the truth. Tell them the truth. Tell them what the deal is. We're not blind. People can see what's going on. You know, you have nations abandoning the dollar like crazy. Janet Yellen, and I'm just going to call it like it is. Janet Yellen lying through her teeth. Jerome Powell, um, you know, and basically jelly backed. What I'm saying, not doing what needs to be done or doing what needs to be done for the elite. And I know that most of you guys know this. We shouldn't even be surprised. But what I see going on here is that you have obviously these news outlets now have no choice but to tell the American people what is going on. They have no choice because it's gotten that bad. Now, when it gets to the point that Bloomberg, CNN, or there's a bunch of other ABC. There's a bunch of other mainstream media outlets. When they finally start telling the American public the truth, by then normally it's already too late. And there have been others that have been trying to that have been saying this for a minute, but their voices have been suppressed because they don't want people to know the truth. And what I see happening is that they're trying to basically stall the inevitable, because if we know the truth, then you're going to see more massive bank runs. And granted, there are millionaires and billionaires and rich that obviously that is what politicians and these banks are mostly concerned about, but they're also concerned about keeping control of the middle class and the common folk, or the non-elite, because believe it or not, just like Kevin O'Leary he has something start engine, or it's something that he's doing where he's getting seed money for it. But we, the common folks, are these elites. We're their seed money. We're part of their capital, because part of how they make their money and stay in power is they make their money off of the efforts off of the masses. And so that means that they make money off of our labor. They make money off of us buying their products. They make money off of us putting money in their banks. They make money off of us investing in their companies. So us as the middle class and below, the common person, we are very important because there's more of us than there are them. But the few control most of the resources, and we are part of those resources. They use our labor and our capital to enrich themselves. And so if we get hip to the game and we begin to make moves, and if you want to say pull out, somewhat, of the dollar and diversify into other assets, and we pull out, say, certain things in the stock market, and maybe we stop, find workarounds to stop purchasing certain products, then what we are doing, we are hurting the elites, hurting their bottom line, because we are what they use to gain their capital, and we are the labor that do the work for them. And if we don't produce for them, then obviously they can't remain in their position of wealth and power. And many, in which I see with Kevin O'Leary and others trying to say, the U.S. dollar is still 60 to 62% of the world's reserve currency. But that's fastly changing. And when you get nations are nothing but countries of people. So when you get their leaders and other nations are telling their common folk, hey, we're going to pull out of the U.S. dollar and start backing out. We're coming up. We're either going to shift to the yuan or to another reserve currency. That's definitely going to hurt the dollar, and that definitely hurts the United States hegemony. That hurts. That takes away their ability to maintain dominance and power, and as well as our U.S. government, because it needs tax dollars. It needs our tax dollars in order to function effectively, in order to fund certain programs. So the common man is very important. We are very important. And what I see happening I see Kevin O'Leary just being one of many of at that level that is putting out a pitch to stall the common person, to keep their money locked in while they pull their money out and they make their adjustments. And then when they finally tell us, basically, kaboom, the drop has happened. While they get their money and their wealth out and they shift into doing things that they told us not to do. So what my thing is this to Mr. O'Leary, for a change, please have some integrity and tell people the truth, and tell people that are following you the truth, because he's a public figure. He has influence. And so what he says is going to carry weight, even if it's not true, as you found out with FTX. I would take a line from the movie Friday, and some of you may have heard it, some of you haven't. But to Mr. O'Leary and to the elite, you ain't got to lie to kick it, Craig. Have some integrity and tell people the truth. But I'm just giving my take on it, and my opinion is that, I can't tell nobody what to do, but I know what I'm going to do. I intend to open up a yuan account, to start getting money, diversify some of that money into to the Chinese yuan. Get ahead of the power curve, because the writing is on the wall, and some stuff is already too late. With hyperinflation, seems like it is coming to the United States, and this is a country that we can't afford to be a Zimbabwe or a Venezuela. We have too many people, and we have way too many guns. And so you get to messing with people's lifestyle and their money, it's going to be a serious problem. So for those of you that haven't, maybe you want to, consider, obviously, precious metals, silver and gold and stuff like that. And there's other precious metals which I'm intend on buying, even buying, getting, what's the other ones I was thinking about? Silver, gold, copper. It's another one I was thinking about, nickel, so, but obviously the main two is silver and gold, what I'm saying? But consider diversifying and look at other options and getting into possibly other markets outside of the United States and the United States stock market. There are other markets, what I'm saying? If you can trade and go into their markets, have more than one thing going, and have more than one way to get resources, or maybe several side hustles. You do what you got to do to make it happen. Make sure you got your basics covered, your food, water, emergency rations, because I don't care whether you rich or poor, you're gonna need food and water, and you're gonna need some shelter. So make sure you got your basics covered, but you're gonna have to have more than one stream of income and diversify that money into other markets. You're gonna have to think outside the United States dollar, and you got to think outside of the United States. The writing is on the wall, and all the elite are doing is trying to stall the common people, while the middle class and common man is getting destroyed. They're trying to stall. Keep your money and your labor here. What I'm saying? While we steadily keep making money off of it, and while we adjust and make plans to get out, what I'm saying, of certain systems, and then basically leave the masses holding the bag. Just my take, guys, but I thank you for listening. And the name of my channel is Eric Broadus YouTube. That's EricBroadus, or ericbroadusyoutube.com. So please smash the bell to become a subscriber. Hit the like button to like the video. If you don't like it, hit the unlike button. Either way, leave a comment. Love to dialogue with you. Everyone has a right to be heard and is entitled to their opinion. And maybe you have something to add to this conversation. Love to hear from it. And also, I have a podcast, Snacks Thoughts. That's SNAKZTHOUGHTS. And you can find my podcast on Acast. You can find it on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and a host of other social media outlets. So please join Snacks Thoughts. And lastly, I am teaching courses on Skillshare on how to succeed in the military, cultural diversity, leadership, and a host of other topics. So would love to have you join the class, and I will leave the link in the description. But something to think about, guys. Something to think about. No de-dollarization. Come on. Think about it. Get real. Come on, Kevin O'Leary. Have some integrity for a change. Tell people the truth. Peace out. Catch you guys in the next one. Later.